Hey guys, at the making of this video, Black Friday has just passed and Christmas is coming up shortly. So I know a lot of people will be getting new laser engravers and have some different questions about it. So in this video, I'm going to try to give 5 essential steps before you start using your laser engraver. Now let's dive in. Tip number 1, just remember, safety always comes first. Be sure to get yourself some eye protection that will be good for a laser engraver. These are what comes standard with the Xtool D1 Pro along with other Xtool engravers. They are laser engraving protective sunglasses. So they're not just a regular pair of sunglasses, but you still don't want to even look at the laser directly even with these glasses. So just be sure you have some of these so you can be sure to protect your eyes from any unwanted eye injury. Also, always be sure to be near your laser engraver. If it starts to smoke up or have a fire or something like that, you want to be there with a fire extinguisher close in hand to be able to put out that fire if it ever happens to occur. And hopefully it doesn't. I've never had that problem, but I have had it smoke on me a couple different times. You also want to be sure that you have closed-toed shoes and that if you have breathing problems or respiratory issues, that you wear a mask whenever you're engraving. And that leads us to tip number 2. Be sure that you have a secure workspace that is well ventilated. So right now I always engrave in my garage. So if I ever need to open the garage door, I can, or if I have a large project that I know is going to take multiple hours, I open up the garage door and let that air circulate through. So that way the air will come through the garage doors and ventilate out my garage. You also want to be sure that you're on a sturdy table, something that won't move around a whole lot, and that you have a thick board or a hex board or something under your engraver so that it gets good aeration, and that if your engraver cuts through your material or goes off your material, that it's not cutting into your table. Tip number 3, be sure that you understand your software. So now let's talk about some of the different kinds of software that you can use for Xtool. So my favorite is Xtool Creative Space. It's a software where you can go in and it's compatible with all Xtool engravers. And you can make designs, edit designs, and start engraving from that one software. There's also Lightburn you can use as well that's very similar to Xtool Creative Space and honestly has some pretty cool features that Creative Space does not. Be sure that you have a computer or a laptop or something that works well with Lightburn or Xtool Creative Space, and then also make sure you have one that's compatible with your laser engraver. So whether you use Bluetooth or Ethernet or just a USB port, that you are able to use your engraver. There are plenty of how-to videos and tutorials on YouTube and other sites that show you how to use your laser engraver and how to use your Creative Space software. So I would recommend going and checking those out before you even start laser engraving. Take the time to understand the speed and power that is needed for different materials, and it will make your life a whole lot easier. Next up, number 4, try to understand your laser's capacities. All lasers are different. Whether you use an Xtool or some other brand, there are certain speeds and powers that you don't want to pass, because if you do, you might overpower your engraver. And you don't want that to happen because it's not good for the engraver and it won't make it last as long. You want to be sure that any type of material that you are engraving is engraver safe and that it won't tear up the engraver or the area around the engraver. For instance, if you have a thick piece of metal that you're wanting to cut through and you have a low watt engraver, it probably won't do it, and you're putting a lot of strain on that engraver to try to get it to cut through it. So it's just better to try to figure out before you even get your engraver out of the box what all it can do and what it can't do. Also, there's a bunch of different wattage engravers that you can buy from 5 watt to 50 watt. So be sure that whenever you buy one, you figure out what's best for your situation. I personally have a 10 watt. I wish I would have went ahead and got the 20 watt, but for now the 10 watt's doing well. And tip number 5, be patient and practice. This is something that doesn't come overnight. You'll have to practice and practice and practice and learn from all your mistakes. You're definitely gonna mess up, so it's good to buy some practice material before you even buy your engraver. Every piece of material is different. Some wood is different than others. Some has knots and blemishes on the wood that makes it a lot different from piece to piece. So be sure that you figure out what works good for you And if you can find a niche of things that you can sell on Etsy or Shopify or some other third-party website, stick to that. Get good at one thing and then branch out from there. But it's good to test everything. You want to see what kind of limits your Xtool can go to without pushing it over the limit. So just to recap, step number 1, safety first. Step number 2, secure your workplace. Step number 3, understand your software. Step number 4, understand your laser's capabilities. And step number 5, be patient and practice, practice, practice. And that's it. Those are 5 essential steps to get started with your engraver. Hopefully you found some benefit out of this video, and I hope you have a great time with your engraver. If you would please just leave me a like and hit the subscribe button below, because that really gives us small creators incentive to want to create more videos. So I hope you have a great rest of your day and enjoy your laser engraving ventures. Have a great one.